The accidental tourists. The Zhang family had always dreamed of seeing the stars up close. Lai Zong, a quantum engineer, his wife Mai, a xenobiologist, and their teenage daughter Jia had saved for years to afford their first interstellar vacation. As their sleek passenger shuttle detached from Earth's orbital station, Jia pressed her face against the viewport, her eyes wide with wonder. "Look, Mom, Dad, you can see the whole planet from here," Jia exclaimed, her voice filled with awe. Lai chuckled, placing a hand on his daughter's shoulder. "Just wait until we're in hyperspace, kiddo. Then you'll really see something amazing." Mai smiled, her scientist's mind already racing with the possibilities of what they might encounter on their journey. "Remember, we're not just tourists. We're ambassadors for Earth. This is our chance to show the galaxy the best of humanity." As the shuttle accelerated away from Earth, the Zhang family settled into their seats, excitement bubbling through their veins. They were headed for Novus Prime, a bustling hub world at the heart of the Galactic Confederation. It was a place where hundreds of alien species coexisted, sharing technology and culture in a grand experiment of cosmic cooperation. The journey to Novus Prime took 3 days in hyperspace. For Jia, it was 3 days of pressing her parents with endless questions about alien biology, faster than light travel, and the history of Earth's first contact with extraterrestrial life. Lai and Mai did their best to keep up with their daughter's insatiable curiosity. On the final day of their journey, as the family sat in the shuttle's observation lounge, a sudden alarm blared through the ship. Red lights flashed, and the captain's voice crackled over the intercom. "Attention all passengers, we are experiencing an unexpected navigational anomaly. Please remain calm and return to your quarters immediately." Li's brow furrowed as he ushered his family back to their cabin. Navigational anomaly. That's not common in established hyperspace lanes. May nodded, her scientific mind already analyzing the possibilities. Could be a spatial distortion, or maybe a malfunction in the ship's navigational array. Jia, however, was more excited than worried. "Do you think we'll see something cool? Like a black hole or a supernova?" Her parents exchanged a glance, both amused and concerned by their daughter's enthusiasm in the face of potential danger. As they reached their cabin, the ship lurched violently, throwing them off balance. The lights flickered, and for a moment, the constant hum of the engines fell silent. Then, as quickly as it had begun, the disturbance passed. The engines roared back to life, and the ship steadied itself. "Is everyone okay?" Lai asked, helping Mai to her feet. Jia nodded, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and excitement. "What was that?" Before either parent could answer, the captain's voice returned, this time with a note of confusion in his tone. "Ladies and gentlemen, it appears we've arrived at our destination. However, we seem to be experiencing some technical difficulties. Please remain in your cabins until further notice." Li frowned. "That's impossible. We were at least 12 hours from Novus Prime." Mai moved to the cabin's small viewport, gasping at what she saw. "Lai, Jia, you need to see this." The family crowded around the window, their jaws dropping in unison. Instead of the familiar sight of Novus Prime's gleaming spaceport, they were faced with an alien vista unlike anything they'd ever seen. A massive structure floated in space before them, its surface a maze of intricate patterns and pulsing lights. It was clearly artificial, yet it dwarfed their shuttle, stretching beyond the edges of their view. "What is that thing?" Jia whispered, her voice filled with awe. Lai shook his head, at a loss for words. I don't know. It's not like any technology I've ever seen." Mi's scientific curiosity overrode her initial shock. "It's beautiful. The complexity of those patterns. They must have some purpose." As they watched, tendrils of energy began to emanate from the structure, reaching out towards their ship. The family huddled closer together, unsure of what was about to happen. Suddenly, a beam of light engulfed their shuttle. Jia yelped in surprise, clinging to her mother. The ship shuddered, and for a moment, it felt as if reality itself was bending around them. Then, as abruptly as it had begun, the light vanished. The family blinked, their eyes readjusting to the normal illumination of their cabin. "Is everyone all right?" Lai asked, his voice shaky. May nodded, her arms still wrapped protectively around Ja. "I think so. But what just happened?" Before anyone could speculate further, the ship's intercom crackled to life once more. This time, it wasn't the captain's voice they heard, but something altogether different. The sound was melodic, almost musical, but with an unmistakable air of intelligence behind it. "Greetings, humans," the voice said, somehow perfectly understandable despite its alien nature. "We apologize for the abrupt nature of your arrival. Your presence has activated the Nexus, a feat not accomplished in eons. We have much to discuss." The Zhang family exchanged bewildered looks. Lai was the first to find his voice. Who are you?" There was a pause before the voice replied. "We are the guardians of the Nexus, an ancient construct left behind by those you might call the precursors. Your ship's unique quantum signature has reawakened us from our long slumber." Mi's scientific mind was racing. "Precursors? You mean there was an advanced civilization before the current galactic community?" "Indeed," the voice confirmed. "The precursors were the first to achieve interstellar travel and to harness the power of the cosmos itself. They created the Nexus as a tool to shape reality, but they disappeared long ago, leaving their creations dormant. Until now." Ja, her initial fear giving way to curiosity, spoke up. "But why us? We're just on vacation." There was something akin to amusement in the Guardian's response. "Ah, young one, it is often the most unexpected individuals who bring about the greatest changes. Your species possesses a unique combination of traits that resonates with the Nexus. You have reawakened not just us, but the entire network of precursor technology spread throughout the galaxy." Li's mind reeled at the implications. "Are you saying we've accidentally activated some kind of ancient alien superweapon?" "Not a weapon," the Guardian clarified. "A tool of creation and transformation. The Nexus has the power to reshape worlds, to accelerate evolution, to bridge the gaps between civilizations. And now it responds to humanity's touch." May gasped. "But we can't possibly be responsible for something so powerful. We're not ready for this kind of technology." The Guardian's voice took on a gentle tone. "Ready or not, the mantle has passed to you. The galaxy is about to enter a new age, with humanity at its center. You will need all of your ingenuity, compassion, and determination to navigate the challenges ahead." As the reality of their situation began to sink in, the Zhang family huddled together, a mix of emotions swirling through them. Excitement, fear, disbelief, and a growing sense of responsibility. "What happens now?" Lai asked, his arm protectively around his wife and daughter. "Now," the Guardian replied, "we begin. The Nexus will transport your ship to the heart of the galactic community. There you will serve as humanity's first ambassadors in this new era. The choices you make, the alliances you forge, and the wisdom you demonstrate will shape the future of not just your species, but all sentient life in the galaxy." Jia looked up at her parents, her eyes shining with a mixture of fear and determination. "I guess this isn't going to be an ordinary vacation after all, huh?" May laughed softly, hugging her daughter close. "No, sweetheart, I think we're in for quite an adventure." Lai took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. "Well, we wanted to see the galaxy. Looks like we're going to get more than we bargained for." As the family steeled themselves for the journey ahead, the Nexus began to pulse with energy once more. The vastness of space outside their viewport shimmered and shifted, reality bending to the will of ancient technology. In that moment, the Zhang family stood at the threshold of a new chapter in human history, accidental tourists about to become the architects of humanity's galactic destiny. The Guardian's voice echoed one last time before the Nexus transported them to their new future. "Prepare yourselves, humans. The galaxy awaits, and the greatest adventure of your lives is about to begin. With a flash of light that seemed to pierce the very fabric of space-time, the Zhang family and their fellow passengers vanished from known space, hurtling towards a destiny none of them could have imagined when they first set out on their interstellar vacation. Unintended consequences. The Zhang family materialized in the heart of the Galactic Confederation's capital, their modest passenger shuttle now dwarfed by the towering spires and swooping archways of an alien megacity. The sky above was a tapestry of ships, ranging from personal transports to massive freighters, all weaving an intricate dance through the planet's atmosphere. Lai was the first to find his voice as they gazed out at the alien vista. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. May shot him a look that was equal parts exasperation and amusement. Really? Earth idioms at a time like this. Jia, however, was practically bouncing with excitement. Look at all those ships and the buildings. They're like nothing I've ever seen before. As the family tried to process their new surroundings, their shuttle's communication system crackled to life. A stern, multi-tone voice addressed them in a language that somehow translated perfectly in their minds. Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted airspace. Power down your engines and prepare to be escorted to the nearest security checkpoint. Lai glanced at his wife and daughter, uncertainty etched on his face. I guess we don't have much choice. Let's hope these guardians knew what they were doing when they sent us here. As their shuttle was guided to a massive docking bay, the Zhang family couldn't help but notice the increasing commotion around them. Alien ships of all shapes and sizes were converging on the capital, their pilots gesticulating wildly and communicating in a cacophony of languages. Once docked, they were quickly surrounded by a contingent of security forces. The aliens were tall, with iridescent scales and 4 arms, each ending in a hand with too many fingers. Their eyes, multifaceted like those of insects, regarded the human family with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity. One of the aliens stepped forward, its voice a mix of clicks and whistles that somehow formed coherent words in the Zhang's minds. You will come with us. The council demands answers. As they were escorted through winding corridors and vast chambers, Mai whispered to her husband, Lai, I don't think they know about the Nexus or the Guardians. Something big is happening, and we're at the center of it. Lai nodded grimly. Let's just hope we can explain ourselves before they decide we're a threat. The family was led into an enormous circular chamber. Tiered seating rose in concentric rings around a central platform, each tier occupied by representatives of different alien species. The diversity was staggering. Creatures of all shapes, sizes, and compositions, some seemingly made of pure energy or existing in multiple dimensions at once. At the center of it all stood a being that seemed to be composed of swirling galaxies, its form barely contained within the limits of 3-dimensional space. When it spoke, its voice resonated not just in their ears, but in their very minds. Humans of Earth, the being intoned, its voice a symphony of cosmic proportions. You stand before the Grand Council of the Galactic Confederation. We demand to know the meaning of this unprecedented cosmic event. Lai stepped forward, swallowing hard. Respected Council, I am Lai Zong. This is my wife, Mai, and our daughter, Jia. We're not entirely sure what's happening ourselves. We were on our way to Novus Prime for a vacation when... He was cut off by a chorus of incredulous exclamations from the assembled aliens. The galaxy being raised a limb, or was it a solar system? For silence. You expect us to believe that this galaxy-wide phenomenon, which has rewritten the very laws of physics in some sectors, is the result of a family vacation. Mai stepped forward, her scientific training kicking in. Esteemed Council, we encountered an ancient construct called the Nexus. It seems to have responded to our presence, activating a network of forgotten technology across the galaxy. The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted over each other, some in fear, others in anger, and still others in what sounded suspiciously like excitement. Jia, overwhelmed by the cacophony, suddenly shouted, Quiet. To everyone's surprise, including Jizz, the chamber fell silent. The galaxy being turned its cosmic gaze upon the young human. Young one, it said, its voice softer now. You have activated powers beyond your comprehension. Already, we receive reports of worlds transformed, of long-dead stars rekindled, of spatial anomalies that defy our understanding of physics. What do you intend to do with this power? Jia looked to her parents, who nodded encouragingly. Taking a deep breath, she addressed the council. We don't want power, she said, her voice clear and steady. We just wanted to learn about the galaxy, to meet new people and see new worlds. If this nexus chose us, it wasn't because we're special. It's because we're curious, because we want to understand. A murmur ran through the assembly. The galaxy being seemed to ponder this for a moment before speaking again. Your words ring true, child. But intentions aside, the fact remains that your species now wields the power to reshape our galaxy. This cannot be ignored. As if on cue, a holographic display flickered to life in the center of the chamber. It showed a map of the galaxy, with countless points of light pulsing in sync. Each pulse sent waves of energy rippling across the galactic map. One of the alien delegates, a being that seemed to be made of living crystal, spoke up. The Nexus Network is rewriting the fundamental constants of our reality. Worlds that were once barren are sprouting life. Species on the brink of extinction are evolving at impossible rates. The very fabric of space-time is being altered. Another delegate, this one a cloud of sentient gas, chimed in. And let us not forget the prophecies. The return of the precursor's power was foretold, but none expected it to come in this form. The humans must be the chosen ones spoken of in the ancient texts. The chamber once again descended into chaos, with various factions arguing about prophecies, the nature of the changes, and what should be done about the humans. Lai, seeing an opportunity, raised his voice. Respected council, we don't claim to be chosen ones or saviors. We're just a family that's in way over our heads. But we're willing to learn, to work with you all to understand this power and use it responsibly. May nodded, adding, as a xenobiologist, I've dedicated my life to understanding alien life forms. Perhaps together, we can study these changes and find a way to harness them for the benefit of all species. The galaxy beings seem to consider this. Your offer is intriguing, but make no mistake, humans, you will be watched closely. The power you now wield could be our salvation or our doom. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the chamber. The holographic display shifted, showing a massive fleet of ships approaching the capital world. The crystal being's voice rang out, tinged with panic. It's the Void Collective. They must have detected the energy surge from the Nexus. They're coming to claim its power for themselves. The galaxy being turned to the Zhang family, its cosmic form swirling with increased intensity. It seems, humans, that your trial by fire begins now. The Void Collective is a scourge upon our galaxy, consuming all in their path. If they harness the power of the Nexus, it will mean the end of all free life in the universe. Lai looked at Mei and Jia, seeing the same mix of fear and determination in their eyes that he felt in his heart. What can we do? He asked. The galaxy being's response was grim. You activated the Nexus. Now you must learn to use it, and quickly. The fate of the galaxy rests in your hands. As the council chamber erupted into frenzied activity, with delegates rushing to organize defenses and evacuations, the Zhang family huddled together. They were no longer tourists, no longer mere observers in this vast cosmic drama. They had become its reluctant protagonists. Jia, her young face set with determination, spoke for all of them. We didn't ask for this, but we can't run from it either. Whatever this Nexus is, whatever power it's given us, we have to use it to help. Mei nodded, squeezing her daughter's hand. You're right, sweetheart. We're scientists, explorers. We wanted to understand the universe. Now we have to save it. Lai took a deep breath, straightening his shoulders. All right then. Let's see what this nexus can really do. As if in response to their resolve, they felt a surge of energy course through them. The air around them shimmered, and for a brief moment, they could see the strands of reality itself, a complex web of energy and information spanning the cosmos. The voice of the Guardian, familiar yet distant, echoed in their minds. The Nexus responds to your will, humans, but be warned. Every action will have consequences, rippling across space and time. Choose wisely. With the Void Collective bearing down on them, and the eyes of the Galactic Confederation upon them, the Zhang family stood at the precipice of a new era. Their vacation had turned into humanity's greatest challenge and greatest opportunity. As Jia reached out, feeling the power of the Nexus at her fingertips, she couldn't help but smile despite the gravity of the situation. "Well," she said, a hint of her earlier excitement returning, "I guess we're really going to see the galaxy now." Lai and Mei nodded, placing their hands on their daughter's shoulders. Together, they faced the holographic display of the approaching Void Collective fleet. Whatever came next, they would face it as a family, armed with nothing but their wits, their love for each other, and the incomprehensible power of an ancient alien artifact. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what these accidental tourists would do next. Rising to the challenge. As the Void Collective's fleet loomed ever closer, the Zhang family found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of activity. The Grand Council chamber had transformed into a war room, with holographic displays showing the approaching enemy ships and the frantic preparations of the Galactic Confederation's defenses. Lai, his engineer's mind racing, studied the tactical displays. "Their ships are unlike anything I've ever seen," he muttered. "It's as if they're absorbing energy from space itself." Mei, her xenobiologist's eye-catching details others might miss, nodded. "Look at the way they move. It's almost organic, like a swarm of predators." Jia, her young face set with determination, spoke up. "But we have the Nexus. There has to be a way we can use it to stop them." The galaxy being that led the council turned its cosmic gaze upon the human family. "Young ones, the power you wield is beyond our comprehension. But know this, the Void Collective seeks to consume all. They do not negotiate, they do not compromise, they only devour." Lai squared his shoulders, meeting the being's gaze. "Then we'll have to find a way to stop them that they won't expect. Something human." As if triggered by his words, the Nexus energy surged within them once more. This time, instead of overwhelming them, it felt like an extension of their own thoughts and intentions. Ideas and possibilities flowed through their minds, each one a potential key to saving the galaxy. Mia's eyes widened as a plan began to form. What if we don't fight them directly? What if we change the rules of the game entirely? The council members looked at her in confusion, but Lai caught on quickly. "You're thinking like a xenobiologist. Instead of destroying them, we transform them," Jia finished, her eyes shining with excitement. The galaxy being's form swirled with curiosity. "Explain, humans. How can one transform that which seeks only to consume?" Mai stepped forward, her voice gaining confidence as she spoke. "Every life form, no matter how alien, has basic needs and drives. The Void Collective consumes because that's all they know. But what if we could give them an alternative? Use the Nexus to evolve them, to awaken a consciousness beyond mere consumption." The council chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, some intrigued, others skeptical. The crystal being that had spoken earlier chimed in, its voice ringing like bells. "It's unprecedented. To forcibly evolve another species, the ethical implications alone." "We don't have time for ethical debates," Lai interjected. "The Void Collective will be here in hours. We need to act now." The galaxy being raised a limb, or was it a nebula? For silence. "The humans speak wisdom beyond their years. If we can transform our enemies into allies, we may yet save countless lives." It turned to the Zhang family. "But the question remains, how will you accomplish this?" Jia, her young mind racing with possibilities, spoke up. We need to understand them better. Is there anyone here who has encountered the Void Collective and survived? A hush fell over the chamber. Then, from the shadows, a figure emerged. It was tall and spindly, with skin that seemed to absorb light. Its eyes were deep pools of darkness, but they held an intelligence that was unmistakable. I am Zor-Exa, the being said, its voice a whisper that somehow carried to every corner of the room. I was once part of the Void Collective. I escaped, though not without cost. The Zhang family approached Zor-Exa, their eyes wide with a mixture of fascination and apprehension. May, ever the scientist, was the first to speak. Zor-Exa, can you tell us about the Void Collective? What drives them? The former Void being seemed to shudder, its form rippling like smoke. Hunger. Always hunger. They consume because they must. Because the void within can never be filled. Lai nodded, his mind working furiously. A perpetual energy deficit. They consume to survive, but the more they consume, the more they need. Jia, her young face scrunched in thought, asked, but why? What made them this way? Zor-Exa's dark eyes seemed to look inward, to memories long buried. Legend speaks of a cataclysm, eons ago, a dying star, a desperate attempt to survive. We became beings of pure energy, but at a terrible cost. As Zor-Exa spoke, the nexus energy within the Zhang family pulsed, as if resonating with the story. Suddenly, May gasped, an idea striking her like lightning. That's it, she exclaimed. We don't need to destroy the Void Collective, or even change them fundamentally. We need to heal them. The council chamber fell silent, all eyes on the human xenobiologist. Even the galaxy being seemed to lean in, its cosmic form shimmering with interest. May continued, her words tumbling out in her excitement. The Nexus has the power to reshape reality, to alter the fundamental constants of the universe. What if we used it to create a sustainable energy source for the Void Collective? Something that could fill the void within them without requiring constant consumption. Lee's eyes lit up, his engineer's mind already racing with possibilities. A cosmic fusion reactor, powered by the Nexus itself. It could provide limitless energy without depleting any existing resources. Jia, catching on quickly, added, and once they're not driven by constant hunger, maybe they'll be open to communication, to becoming part of the galactic community. Zor-Exa's form seemed to pulse with a faint light, hope kindling in its dark eyes. Could it be possible to end the hunger that has driven us for eons? The galaxy being's voice resonated through the chamber. It is a plan born of compassion and ingenuity. Truly human. But the risks are enormous. If you fail, you may give the Void Collective even greater power to consume us all. Lai looked at his wife and daughter, seeing the same determination in their eyes that he felt. We have to try, he said simply. It's who we are. As the family's resolve solidified, they felt the Nexus energy surge within them once more. This time, it felt like a tool perfectly fitted to their hands, responding to their will and intention. May turned to the council. We'll need to get closer to the Void Collective's fleet. Can you provide us with a ship? The crystal being chimed in, its voice tinged with awe. You would risk yourselves. Fly into the heart of the enemy fleet. Jia grinned, a glint of adventure in her eyes. Hey, we came here for an exciting vacation, didn't we? Despite the gravity of the situation, a ripple of laughter passed through the council chamber. The galaxy being's form seemed to smile, though how that was possible was anyone's guess. Very well, humans, you shall have your ship. But know this, the hopes of the entire galaxy go with you. As the council mobilized to prepare for the Zhang's mission, the family huddled together for a moment of quiet amidst the chaos. Lai looked at his wife and daughter, his heart swelling with pride and fear in equal measure. Are we really ready for this? We're just us. Mai squeezed his hand. Maybe that's exactly what the galaxy needs right now. Not super soldiers or all-powerful beings. Just humans doing what humans do best. Gia nodded, her young face set with determination. Adapting, problem-solving, and occasionally doing something crazy that just might work. As they broke apart, ready to face the challenge ahead, they were approached by various council members. Each alien race seemed eager to offer advice, technology, or simply words of encouragement to these strange humans who had stumbled into the center of a galactic crisis. The crystal being presented them with a device that shimmered with inner light. A quantum harmonizer, it explained. It may help you focus the Nexus energy more precisely. The sentient gas cloud swirled around them, depositing a fine mist on their skin. A protective barrier, it whispered. It will shield you from the worst of the void energy. Even Zor-Exa approached, its dark form seeming less ominous now. I wish to join you, it said hesitantly. My knowledge of the collective may prove useful, and I wish to see my people freed from their hunger. The Jangs exchanged glances, then nodded in unison. Lai extended his hand to the former void being. Welcome aboard, Zor-Exa. Let's go save the galaxy. As they made their way to the ship that would carry them into the heart of the Void Collective's fleet, the Zhang family felt the weight of the galaxy's expectations on their shoulders. But along with that weight came a sense of purpose, of rightness. This was not the vacation they had planned, but it was the adventure they were meant to have. Gia, her eyes shining with a mixture of excitement and determination, summed it up best as they boarded their ship. You know, I always wondered what it would be like to be the hero in one of those space operas I love to read. Guess I'm about to find out. Mai laughed, ruffling her daughter's hair. Just remember, sweetheart, in real life, the heroes don't always have all the answers. They just have the courage to keep trying until they find them. Lai nodded, taking his place at the ship's controls. Well said. Now let's go make first contact, prevent a war, and maybe rewrite the laws of physics while we're at it. Just another day for the Zhang family, right? As their ship lifted off, carrying them towards an uncertain destiny, the Grand Council watched in awe. These humans, these accidental tourists turned reluctant heroes, were about to attempt the impossible. And somehow, against all odds, the galaxy found itself hoping, believing, that they just might succeed. The Nexus energy hummed around them, through them, a cosmic power now intrinsically linked to this one small human family. As they accelerated towards the approaching Void Collective fleet, the Zhang family carried with them not just the hopes of the Galactic Confederation, but the very future of the galaxy itself. Their vacation had become a mission, their curiosity had become a weapon, and their humanity, in all its messy, unpredictable, ingenious glory, had become the galaxy's greatest asset in its darkest hour. Galactic upheaval. The Zhang family's ship, newly christened the Earthlight, streaked through the star-studded void, its hull gleaming with the iridescent energy of the Nexus. Inside, Lai, Mei, Jia, and their unexpected ally Zor-Exa prepared for their encounter with the Void Collective. We're approaching the outer edge of their fleet, Lai announced, his hands dancing over the ship's controls. The view screen filled with the ominous sight of the Void Collective's vessels, massive, dark shapes that seemed to devour the very starlight around them. Mai studied the readings on her console, her brow furrowed. The energy signature of their ships. It's like nothing I've ever seen. It's as if they're not just consuming energy, but space-time itself. Jia, her young face a mask of concentration, reached out with her newfound connection to the Nexus. I can feel them, she whispered. So much hunger, so much emptiness. Zor-Exa nodded, its dark form rippling with what might have been sadness. The void within us, within them, it is all-consuming. But perhaps with your help, we can finally fill it. As they penetrated deeper into the Void Collective's fleet, alarms began to blare. Lai's hands flew over the controls, evading energy beams that threatened to drain their ship dry. We need to get their attention, he shouted over the cacophony. but preferably without getting obliterated. Mi's eyes lit up with an idea. The Nexus. Honey, do you think you can project our intentions? Make them feel our desire to help? Jia nodded, closing her eyes in concentration. The Nexus energy around her intensified, forming a cocoon of shimmering light. Suddenly, the attacks ceased. The void ships closest to them seemed to pause, as if listening. A deep, resonant voice filled their minds, a chorus of countless beings speaking as one. You are not prey. You are different. What do you seek in the domain of the void? Li took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. We come offering a solution to your hunger, a way to end the endless consumption that drives you. There was a pause, pregnant with possibility. Then, impossible. The void must be filled. It is our nature, our curse. Mai stepped forward, her scientist passion evident in her voice. But what if it didn't have to be? We have the power to reshape reality itself. Let us show you another way. Another pause, longer this time. Finally, approach. But know this. If your words prove false, you will be consumed, and your power will become ours. As the Earthlight was guided towards what appeared to be the Void Collective's central ship, the Zhang family exchanged nervous glances. This was it. The moment that would decide the fate of the galaxy. They docked with the massive void ship, its interior a maze of pulsing, dark energy conduits. As they stepped off their ship, they were met by a group of void beings, their forms similar to Zorexa, but somehow more substantial. One of the beings stepped forward, its voice the same deep chorus they had heard before. I am Nyx, overseer of the Void Collective. Speak your peace, but be warned. Our patience is as limited as our hunger is endless. Jia, emboldened by her connection to the Nexus, spoke first. Your hunger isn't endless. It's a wound left by whatever catastrophe created you. We're here to heal it. Nyx's form rippled, a mix of skepticism and something that might have been hope. And how do you propose to accomplish this, young one? Lai stepped forward, the engineer in him taking over. We can use the power of the Nexus to create a self-sustaining energy source, one that will fill the void within you without requiring constant consumption. Mei added, her xenobiologist's mind racing. And more than that, we can help you evolve, to become beings of creation rather than consumption. The void beings conferred among themselves, their dark forms swirling together in what seemed like agitation. Finally, Nyx turned back to the humans. Your words are intriguing, but words are wind. Show us this power you claim to wield. The Zhang family nodded to each other. Together, they reached out to the Nexus, its energy flowing through them like a river of starlight. Jia, her young mind unburdened by preconceptions of what was possible, took the lead. Under her guidance, the Nexus energy began to coalesce, forming a sphere of pure, radiant power. It pulsed with life, with potential, with the very essence of creation. The void beings drew back, both awed and terrified by the display. This, Jia said, her voice resonating with power beyond her years, is just the beginning. Imagine this energy, not as something to be consumed, but as a part of you, a source of endless creativity and growth. Mai squeezed his hand, finishing his thought. That we'd end up reshaping the political landscape of the entire galaxy. Yeah, that wasn't in the brochure. Jia laughed, the sound bright and clear. Best vacation ever. They shared a moment of laughter, the simple joy of a family united through extraordinary circumstances. But as the laughter faded, a more somber mood settled over them. We should think about heading home soon, Lai said softly. It's been how long? Mei checked her datapad, her eyes widening slightly. Nearly 2 Earth years. Time flies when you're preventing galactic wars and rewriting the laws of physics, I guess. Jia's face fell slightly. Do we have to go back? There's still so much to explore, so much to learn. Lai knelt down to meet his daughter's eyes. Earth is still our home, Ja. And after everything we've seen and done, I think we have a responsibility to share it with our own people. May nodded in agreement. Earth is part of this galaxy too. It's time we help them take their place in this larger community. As if on cue, the galaxy being approached them, its cosmic form somehow conveying a warm smile. You've done more for this galaxy in 2 of your Earth years than most civilizations do in millennia. But your greatest challenge may yet lie ahead. Lai raised an eyebrow. Oh, and what might that be? The being's form shimmered with what might have been amusement, explaining to your world leaders why a simple family vacation resulted in Earth becoming a significant power in galactic politics. The journey back to Earth was filled with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The Zhang family had changed, grown in ways they could never have imagined. How would they fit back into the world they had left behind? As the blue marble of Earth grew larger in their view screen, Jia pressed her face against the glass, drinking in the sight of her home planet. It looks so small now, she whispered. Mai put an arm around her daughter's shoulders. Small, but precious. And now we have the knowledge and the means to protect it, to help it grow. Their ship, escorted by an honor guard of vessels from various galactic civilizations, entered Earth's atmosphere. As they descended, they saw crowds gathering, pointing up at the sky in wonder and fear. They landed in a field outside their hometown, the same place where their incredible journey had begun 2 years ago. As the ship's doors opened, they were met with a wall of sound, cheering, shouting, the whir of news cameras, and the barely contained chaos of a world confronting the reality of its place in a vast, populated galaxy. Government officials rushed forward, a mix of awe and consternation on their faces. Mr. and Mrs. Zhang, one of them said, slightly out of breath, "We have so many questions." Lai held up a hand, a gesture he had learned carried weight in galactic politics. "And we'll answer them all. But first, we have a message to deliver. A message from the stars." Over the following weeks, the Zhang family found themselves at the center of a global upheaval. They testified before world leaders, gave interviews to awestruck journalists, and worked tirelessly to help Earth understand its new role in the galactic community. May took charge of establishing Earth's first Xenobiology Institute, dedicated to studying and understanding the myriad life forms that inhabited the galaxy. Lai worked with engineers and scientists worldwide to adapt and implement some of the technologies they had encountered on their journey. And Jia, wise beyond her years, but still with the enthusiasm of youth, became a symbol of hope for a new generation. She spoke at schools, inspiring children with tales of alien worlds and the promise of a future among the stars. It wasn't always easy. There were those who feared change, who saw the galaxy as a threat rather than an opportunity. But slowly, surely, the Zhang family's vision of a united Earth, ready to take its place in the galactic community, began to take shape. One evening, about a year after their return, the family sat in their backyard, gazing up at the stars. The sight was familiar, yet forever changed by their experiences. "Do you ever miss it?" Jia asked, her eyes fixed on the heavens. "Being out there, I mean." Lai chuckled softly. "Every day. But you know what? What we're doing here, helping Earth find its way in the galaxy, it's just as important as anything we did out there." May nodded in agreement. "We're building bridges, not just between nations, but between worlds. It's the culmination of everything we learned on our journey." As they sat in comfortable silence, a streak of light crossed the sky, a ship entering Earth's atmosphere. Once, it would have caused panic. Now, it was a common sight, a reminder of Earth's new place in a larger community. Nyx reached out tentatively, its dark form brushing against the sphere of energy. As it did, something remarkable happened. Instead of being consumed, the energy flowed into Nyx, suffusing its being with light. For the first time in eons, the hunger within it began to subside. How is this possible? Nyx's voice was no longer a chorus, but a single awestruck whisper. May smiled, her eyes shining with the thrill of scientific discovery. It's not just energy we're offering you. It's a new way of being, a chance to evolve beyond the limitations of your current form. As the other void beings watched, Nyx began to transform. Its dark, energy-absorbing form became translucent, then radiant. The emptiness within it filled with stars, galaxies, the very stuff of creation. I can feel everything, Nyx said, its voice filled with wonder. The cosmos, it's not something to be consumed, but to be nurtured, to be created. The transformation spread, void being after void being accepting the gift the Zhang family offered. The massive ship around them began to change, dark conduits becoming rivers of starlight, cold metal transmuting into living crystal. As the last of the Void Collective embraced their new existence, a wave of energy pulsed outward, rippling across the galaxy. The Zhang family felt it through their connection to the Nexus, a fundamental shift in the cosmic order. Zor Exa, who had watched the proceedings in awe, stepped forward. "You have done it. You have saved my people and the galaxy." But even as they celebrated their victory, new challenges loomed. The galactic political landscape had been irrevocably altered, and not everyone would be pleased with the outcome. Back in the Grand Council chamber, the news of the Void Collective's transformation was met with mixed reactions. Many celebrated the end of a terrible threat, but others viewed the humans' display of power with suspicion and fear. The crystal being that had been supportive earlier now spoke with an edge of concern. "The humans have reshaped an entire civilization on a whim. How can we be sure they won't do the same to us?" The galaxy being's form swirled with conflicting emotions. "They have saved us all from destruction, yet in doing so, they have upset the balance of power that has maintained peace for millennia." As the Zhang family returned to the council chamber, hailed as heroes by some and eyed warily by others, they realized that their greatest challenge was yet to come. They had changed the galaxy, but now they had to help it adapt to that change. Lai addressed the council, his voice firm but respectful. "We understand your concerns. The power we wield is immense, and with it comes great responsibility. We don't seek to rule or dominate. We only want to help, to explore, to learn." May nodded, adding, "We're scientists, explorers. Our goal is to understand the universe, not to control it. We offer our knowledge and capabilities to the Galactic Confederation, to be used for the benefit of all." Jia, wise beyond her years, spoke up. "We didn't ask for this power, but we have it now. And we choose to use it not for ourselves, but for everyone. Isn't that what truly advanced civilizations do? Work together for the greater good." The council chamber fell silent, the assembled representatives pondering the humans' words. Finally, the galaxy being spoke. "You have shown wisdom and compassion beyond our expectations, but the galaxy is vast, and change does not come easily to civilizations that have existed for millions of years. There will be resistance, fear, perhaps even conflict." Lai squared his shoulders, meeting the being's cosmic gaze. "Then we'll face those challenges as they come, together, as a family, and as part of this galactic community." Mai smiled, taking her husband's hand. "After all, that's the human way. We adapt, we learn, we grow, and we help others do the same." Jia grinned, her eyes sparkling with the thrill of adventure. "Plus, this is turning out to be the best family vacation ever. Who knows what we'll discover next?" As the council debated the new role humans would play in galactic affairs, the Zhang family stood united, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They had come seeking a simple vacation and found themselves at the center of a cosmic revolution. The Nexus hummed within them, a constant reminder of the power that they now wielded and the responsibility that came with it. But more than that, it was a connection to each other, to the vast universe around them, and to the endless possibilities that lay ahead. In the days and weeks that followed, News of the humans' feats spread across the galaxy. Some worlds celebrated, welcoming the dawn of a new era. Others fortified their borders, fearful of the changes sweeping through the cosmos. Gia stood up, stretching. Well, I should get to bed. I'm speaking at the Global Youth Science Congress tomorrow about the potential applications of Nexus energy in terraforming. Her parents watched her go, marveling at how much she had grown. She was no longer just their little girl, but a symbol of humanity's potential, a bridge between Earth and the stars. As the night deepened, Lai and May remained outside, hand in hand, contemplating the journey that had brought them here. You know, Lai said softly, when we planned that vacation, I thought we needed to get away from it all, to escape the routine, the predictability of our lives. May laughed softly. I'd say we succeeded beyond our wildest dreams. Lai nodded, squeezing her hand. We set out to see the galaxy, and we ended up changing it. But more than that, we changed ourselves, our world. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we'd chosen a different vacation? May asked. If we'd just gone to the beach or to the mountains. Lai was quiet for a moment, considering. I think somehow, someway, we would have ended up here. Not exactly like this, maybe, but humanity was always meant to reach for the stars. We just happened to be the ones who took that first, crazy step. May leaned her head on his shoulder, a contented sigh escaping her. Some vacation, huh? Yeah, Lai chuckled. Some vacation. As they sat there, under the canopy of stars that had become both more familiar and more wondrous, they felt a deep sense of peace. They had set out as tourists and returned as pioneers, transforming not just themselves, but the very future of humanity. The galaxy stretched out above them, no longer a distant, unreachable realm, but a community of which they were now a part. Challenges lay ahead, new wonders waited to be discovered, and the journey they had begun was far from over. But for now, in this moment, they were simply a family that had taken a most extraordinary vacation, and in doing so, had opened the door to humanity's greatest adventure. As a cool breeze rustled the leaves around them, Lai and Mai rose, ready to head inside. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities to shape Earth's future among the stars. But they would face it as they had faced every challenge since that fateful day they'd left for their vacation. Together, as a family, with open hearts and minds ready to embrace the wonders of a universe that had become their backyard. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of the cosmos, the Nexus hummed, a testament to the unpredictable, wonderful potential of life in all its forms. The Zhang family's vacation had ended, but humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning.